Good morning, kids. Today we're working on Unit 1, Lesson 10, Remembering, and we are going to look at identifying a mixed number using pictures, and then we are going to be answering some questions relating to a bar chart, and there's a stretch your thinking question that we are going to do today, and we will do it partially together and then partially on your own. So you will have 9 questions today to complete. In numbers 1 through 3, you're using the picture to determine what the mixed number is. And in order to do that, you're going to look at each picture as one whole. So if you look at number 1, this would be one whole, this would be one whole, and this would be one whole. Okay? And so those are each one whole. Well, you're going to figure out how much of each of those one whole are shaded in. You can see that in the first 2, they are completely shaded in. So that represents 2 whole of that, whatever that shape is. The next one, you can see that the shaded part is 1, 2, 3. 3 pieces are shaded out of a total of 4 pieces. And so the mixed number that's represented by this picture here is 2 3/4. You're going to do the same thing with number 2 and number 3. Numbers 5 through 8, it says answer the questions about the bar graph and give your answers as simple fractions. Number 4 says how many cookies are there altogether? Well, you can see that you have a bar chart or a bar graph over here, and it's the cookies from a bake sale. And the title is here, Cookies for the Bake Sale. You can see here on the right side, it is the number of cookies, okay, and it goes up in increments of 5. It goes from 5 to 10 to 15 and to 20, and so that's the number of cookies. And on the bottom here, we have the first one, which is chocolate chip cookies, the second one, oatmeal cookies, and we have the third one, which is peanut butter cookies. And so you're going to use the information provided in this chart to answer questions 4 through 8. Number 1, it says, how many cookies are there altogether? Well, in order to determine how many there are altogether, you're going to have to add them up. You can see that the chocolate chip cookies, you have 20. The oatmeal cookies, you have 15. And the peanut butter cookies, you have 10. And so you simply need to add them up to figure out the total number of cookies. 20 plus 15 is 35, plus another 10 is 45. So you have 45 total cookies. We'll go ahead and look at number 5 together. It says, what fraction of the cookies are chocolate chip cookies? Well, if we have 45 total cookies, 45 is going to be the denominator because it's how many are chocolate chip out of our total of 45. We're going to go over and look chocolate chip cookies. We can see right here, there's 20. So 20 45ths are chocolate chip cookies. And we can reduce that. And we know that 5 can go into both of those numbers. 5 can go into 20 4 times, and 5 can go into 45 9 times. So 4/9 are chocolate chip cookies. Number 6 says what fractions of the cookies are oatmeal, which you could do on your own. Number 7, what fraction of the cookies are peanut butter, and you can do that on your own the same way that we figured out the fraction that are chocolate chip. Number 8 says Melanie baked 25 cookies. Did she bake more or less than half of the cookies, and how do you know? Well, you've got to again then look and see how many were the total? 45. So we have our total of 45, and of the 45, she baked 25. So now we need to compare 25 45ths to 1/2. Okay, and how are we going to do that? Well, I could do this one of 2 ways. I could say to myself, what is half of 45? And I could do it just by doing this. 45 divided by 2 is 22.5. And I can just look at it now and I can see that if half is 22.5, well, 25 is larger than 22.5. So I can see that she baked more than half. The other thing that you can do is compare the fractions just as we've been doing before, and that's by getting a common denominator. And we can get the common denominator just by multiplying them by each other. And 45 times 2 is equal to 90. Anything I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 25 times 2 is equal to 50. So I have 50 90ths. Now I have to multiply this side by 45. And 2 times 45 is equal to 90. And 2 times 1 is equal to 2. And so I can see that 50/90 is larger than 2/90. And so in our original problem, 25/45 is greater than half. So she made more than 1/2 of the cookies. And you're going to go ahead and on the line, you're going to write more. And then how do you know this? You know that half of 45 is 22.5. So 25 is more than half of 45. So 25 is greater than or more than half of 45. All right, and then stretch your thinking. We're actually going to do stretch your thinking today. I know oftentimes we don't, but the stretch your thinking today is one that I think you guys can grasp pretty easily, and you have seen some measurement and perimeter in the past. So stretch your thinking says, Colby nailed together 4 wood boards as shown at the right. All 4 boards were 5.5 inches wide. Find the perimeter of the outside rectangle. Well, first thing I need to know is how long each side is. And I can see right here that the bottom is 24.75 inches. And that also means that the top outside edge is 24.75 inches. And so that is an important piece of my perimeter. Now I need to figure out what is the length of the 2 sides. And in order to figure out the length of the 2 sides, I'm going to have to add up the information I have. Well, I know that this board here is 8 1/4, and I know that each of the other 2 spots, the green spots I'm doing here, and here, are 5.5 inches. So it's 5.5 inches each. And so I have 2 of those, 5.5 and 5.5. And now I'm going to have to combine those to figure out what the length of these 2 sides is. And I need to combine my 5.5 and 5.5 because those have a common denominator. And 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1 whole. 5 plus 5 is 10, and then I'm going to add in my other one. That's going to make 11. And 8 1/4 plus 11 is 19 1/4. So I know that this side here is 19 1/4, and I know that the opposite side is also 19 1/4. Now, I can simply find the perimeter of that outside box by adding up all of the sides. I have 24 3/4 plus 24 3/4 plus 19 1/4 plus 19 1/4. And I just need to simply add them all together now. Combining like terms here, you can see that all the fractions are the same, so you can just add them up right on down. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 7, plus 1 more is 8, and we have 8/4, which is an improper fraction. And so we'll hit that in just a second. 4 plus 4 is equal to 8, plus 9 is equal to 17, plus 9 more is equal to 26. Put down your 6 and carry your 2. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 2 more is 6, plus 1 is 7, plus 1 more is 8. So you have 86 8/4. Well, we have an improper fraction with our 8/4, and we know that 4 can go into 8 2 times without going over, and there's no remainder. So we're going to add 2 whole to our 86, which is going to make it 88. And so our answer is going to be 88 inches. 88 inches. For our outside perimeter. In the next problem, it's asking us to find the perimeter of the inside box, and you have to find the length of the sides of that inside box. And so when you look at the picture of the inside box, you can see that if you take this outside length, which we have 24 3/4, and you subtract the 2 side pieces, which would mean you would take out this chunk here and you would take out this chunk here, you're subtracting that 5.5 inches, and you're subtracting that twice. Okay, so you're going to take your 24 3/4 and you're going to subtract the 5 1/2, which we have 2 of them, right? We're going to take out this one here, and we're going to take out this one here. That 5.5 and 5.5, and we know that when we add those together, 5.5 plus 5.5 is 11, like we just did in the last problem. So we're going to take 24 3/4, and we're going to subtract 11 from the 24 3/4. So we don't have anything to subtract from our fraction, so we can just bring it down. 4 minus 1 is equal to 3, and 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So this side here as well, let me erase this piece, as this side here are 13 3/4. Now, if we look at the other two sides, that measurement is given for us, and that's 8. It's right here, 8 1/4. So this side and this side are 8 1/4. Now, all we have to do is set up our addition problem and add them all together. We have 8 1/4 plus 8 1/4, because there are two sides that are that length. We have 13 3/4 and 13 3/4, and we need to add those up. And again, we have a common denominator, which makes it pretty easy. So we're going to add up all of the numerators. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5, plus 3 more is equal to 8. And we have 8/4, and then we have 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 13 is 29, plus 13 is 42. So we have 42 8/4. Well, we can see that 8/4 is an improper fraction. 4 can go into 8 2 times, so we're going to add that 2 to our whole number, and our answer is going to be 44 inches. When you're finished with this entire page, make sure you please take a picture of your work, attach it to your assignment, and turn it in. You only have 2 and 3, 6 and 7 to complete on your own, so it shouldn't take too long today. Thank you.